Said, huh? Sometimes it's just this damn simple. Hey, Mario Cristobal, you see what I'm doing right now? This is part of the victory formation where you actually take a knee to win the game. What up, world? What up, world? What up, world? What up, world? What up, world, man? This your main man. I am DJ Double Dose, man, and we are back up in the building, man. This your man. I am DJ Double Dose for Double Dose of Reality Sports. And what you just witnessed was me doing what the title says, taking a knee. Apparently, there are some people who are allergic to success. And this is where we're going to start the show off. We can't go no further. We can't close the book. We can't turn the page and head on into the next week until we discuss the debacle in Coral Gables. 305, take it to the house. Super Mario Cristobal, won't you come to the front of the congregation? Sir, listen. For 5 weeks now, we've been hearing about how Miami is back and how Miami is great and how Miami is this. And, a lot of us said, they ain't played nobody. But all of us who said that, maybe it was some of us with Seminoles fans, some of us Gators fans, some of us are people who just despise the youth. So they looked at us as we were haters. They said, hey, you know what? Y'all just don't want to give us our credit. But we continually said that your record looked the way that it looked because you hadn't played anybody. Although you did get the victory against Texas A&M, hats off. You did gain that victory. But ultimately, as we see, Texas A&M, you know what I'm saying? But we continue to say, hey, when you guys get in the conference play, because a lot of Miami fans, a lot of Hurricanes fans, I seen y'all in the chat. I seen y'all on your blogs. I seen it everywhere. Wanted to say, hey, FSU struggle with Boston College. FSU struggle with a not so good Clemson. Blah, 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 blah. And we tried to tell you that conference play is different. Because what got lost in, we're going to talk about the game for a smidget, because there ain't really much to talk about. And we'll talk about the end, and then we're going to move on. What got lost in the ending is Tyler Van Dyke had a bad game. Had a horrible game. The boy came out there and threw 3 picks. That Georgia Tech team, not really the stiffest competition now, is it? But it was your first conference game. I vaguely remember a couple of weeks ago after FSU played Boston College, there was a lot of mouthing that happened. I vaguely remember the first week of the season when Clemson played Duke and lost. I vaguely remember at the beginning of the season when that same Georgia Tech team played the undefeated Louisville team now. Tough. We tried to tell you. We tried to tell you that conference play is different. Even if you see it across the board, you tried to say, hey, LSU, they struggle with Arkansas. Georgia struggle. It is conference play and is a different animal. You hadn't played a conference game. You played one halfway decent program outside of the conference. The rest of your games have been against cupcakes. You got into conference play where the games matter. Not saying that the Texas A&M game didn't matter. Not saying that. But as I said on previous shows, and I said about the LSU and FSU game, in the grand scheme of things, those games are great for TV ratings. They're great for hype. But those games do not affect your outcome of the season. They don't. Because your goal should be, before it used to be win your division, then win your conference, and then we'll see what happens with the playoffs after that. That's what it was before. But now the ACC has gone divisionless, so it's pretty much, hey, win the conference. If you win the conference, depending on how you do, then you may have a seat at the table for a playoff spot. Simple enough. That's what we tried to explain to you. But not Miami. You jokers are allergic to success, and you can't get out of your own damn way. Okay. But again, what got lost in all of this was Tyler Van Dyke played a bad game. He looked like the Tyler Van Dyke for much of last year. He did. That wasn't a great Georgia Tech team. Just saying. But Mario Cristobal, it's been talked about on every show. I just had to get my jokes in because everybody knows how I feel about you Bammers, suckers, chumps, sorry ass program. Everybody knows how I feel about you. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I was happy that you lost. I'm glad that you lost. And you lost in humiliating fashion because guess what? You're being talked about and you have been being talked about. I waited a few days because I just wanted to let it all get out. You've been talked about for the majority of this week. National. People we really don't even talk about college have talked about you idiots. So, you know, my heart goes out to the kids because at the end of the day, they never should have been in the situation. That falls all directly on your leader. And then this fool tried to sit around there and damn near blame the kid and not take blame for himself, which is even more crazy. So guess what you got coming up this week? You got Drake May this week. I had already penciled you down for a loss against North Carolina anyway. And then right after that, guess what you got after that? You got Clemson right after that. You want to talk about taking a loss that you didn't need to take? Well, God damn it, that was it. You got back-to-back games against North Carolina and against Clemson. So I wish you luck because you're going to need it because I have a strong feeling after looking at that sideline and looking at the way those kids look. I got a real strong feeling. I ain't said you lost the locker room yet, but boy, you definitely took a hit. You definitely took a hit. But we're going to move right on past the Miami Hurricanes. You can call it Slurricane. Hurricane. Strong enough to start it. All of my old school folks, y'all already know, man. You know what I'm saying? Coming up, you know, young pup in high school, man. That's one of the first things I drank, you know what I'm saying? Hurricane. But, you know, anyway, that's a different story for a different day. We'll have the beer liquor conversation another day. So, as we move forward and we turn the page past Miami, we've got our jokes off. I done went on about them for almost 10 minutes. I'm done with that show. Ain't that long. As you look forward and you keep on going, let's talk about another team that we've been talking about this year. Well, we've been talking about their defense or lack thereof. We did a poll a couple weeks ago. Can USC make it to the playoffs with that defense? Yet again, USC had us up to the middle of the damn. Well, not USC. No. I'm not going to say USC. I'm sorry. I'm going to rephrase that. The Pac-12 had us up till 1, 2 in the morning for us Central Eastern folks. Had us up because USC was in a tough battle with the Arizona Wildcats. Why, USC, are you in a tough battle with the Arizona Wildcats? Why? You know why? Because of what we have all been saying. Your defense is utterly trash. And it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy that y'all are going to, as great as Caleb is, he's putting up unreal numbers. If you would, Lincoln, listen. Man, look, I don't know if it's the defensive coordinator or it's you. I'm going to lean on it's you. Because your defenses in Oklahoma look, we've talked about this. Your defenses in Oklahoma look the same way. So I'm not even going to, although he's probably going to lose his job. I ain't even going to put on that. For some reason, I'm starting to wonder, are you meddling in the defense, Lincoln? Talk to us, Lincoln. Lincoln, talk to us. Because this ain't making no sense. This is your second stop, and your defense look the exact same. Terrible. It looks terrible. So I'm starting to wonder, and this is a different defensive coordinator. Is it the defensive coordinator, is it the personnel, or is it you? I'm just saying. So, look, USC, you got Notre Dame this week. Big matchup. You got Notre Dame this week. What's left of Notre Dame, because their confidence is a little rattled. You know, they've lost the last three. You count over there. It's looking a little rough, Notre Dame. It's looking a little rough. You know, you lost. You gotta. I don't think you anticipated losing to Louisville. I didn't anticipate you losing to Louisville like that. I didn't anticipate losing to Louisville at all, let alone like that. So, if the defense wants to get off of the mat, we're going to find out everything we need to know about Notre Dame's offense in this matchup with USC. Because as I've just said, we all know USC's defense is not good. It is not average. It's not good. It's outright terrible. So, Notre Dame, for you in that offense, if you can't get it together versus USC, then maybe the Sam Hartman project and everything else you got going on offense might be an issue. I mean, you're already not going to make the playoffs. So at this point, hey, like we said, play spoiler. Because, I mean, at the end, you really ain't even playing spoiler, but just piss some people off. Because you got USC this week. You still got Clemson. You know what I'm saying? Just piss some people off. Just piss some people off. And I think that the crazy part about it is, as we segue into another debacle, my man, my coach, former coach, brought us a national title. Jimbo, I'm starting to really wonder, was it you or was it really Jameis? Because, bro, I don't know what to tell you about you in that offense. And again, another thing that we have a lot of stuff that we've talked about in the offseason. It's funny how when you follow this game, a lot of stuff plays itself out. And the Texas A&M situation is no different. When Bobby Petrino was hired, we all said, hey, this could work amazingly if Jimbo truly lets him call the offense. Looking at some games now, I'm not saying that Bobby Petrino is not calling plays. I'm not even going to go as far as to speculate that. But I do know, and from what I've seen, because I've seen this from Jimbo over the years, Jimbo still definitely has his hand heavy in that offense. And you had some situations in that game against Alabama where it's like, what are we doing? Before the half, you chose to not be aggressive. You had some fourth down. You had a fourth down that you chose to punt. Your defense, for all intents and purposes, played fine in that game. I mean, defense didn't really give up a whole lot. They got turnovers for you. So we can't put it on the defense. This is one of those things where it's like, it kind of falls on out. Now, Alabama's defense is good. We've stated on this show that Alabama's defense is lights out. They got a good defense this year. I mean, we said it in the preseason. A lot of people was like, well, they're losing with. No, they got a real solid defense this year. Real good. But your defense played well enough that if the offense could have put a couple more points on the board, you should have won. So that makes me look directly at you, Jimbo. Are you meddling in what Petrino was trying to do? Are you letting him do his thing? Questions that have to be answered. Because ultimately, offense still kind of looks the same, man. It kind of looks the same. I mean, I'm just saying, it kind of looks the same, man. We're just doing a whip around right now, man. Georgia decided they wanted to play this week. When Georgia plays like that, I mean, we've had our questions. The South Carolina game, I wouldn't say struggle, but they didn't look great in the South Carolina game. Against Auburn, it was a tough game, back and forth, tough game. They pulled it out in the end. Well, the Auburn game, we might as well call that the Brock Bowers game. They pulled it out in the end. So, but Kentucky was ranked. And Kentucky wasn't chirping, but Kentucky was feeling good about themselves. Hey, they were ranked and things was looking good for Stoops in this bunch. Well, I guess that's what Georgia needed, because when they decided to play this week, they decided to play, and yeah, that's where they look like the number one team in the nation. And before we pull out the polls to see where we are, let's have another sit down conversation with a coach. Steve Sarkisian, you went in Tuscaloosa, called a masterful game, and you came out with a victory. You got in the Red River Shootout, and boy, was it everything that college football loves. You look at the Red River Shootout, you look at the game in its totality, it had everything you wanted from it. It had special teams plays, it had hitting, it had touchdowns. It had everything you wanted from it. The atmosphere was wild. But in the end, Steve, you had the ball, you had momentum, you driving, and then you made the cardinal mistake. You decided to play for the field goal. You stopped being aggressive. You took your foot off the gas. And you were happy with going for the field goal. Now, albeit, because we've seen in this scenario where the kicker goes up there for this kick and he misses, albeit your kicker made the kick. But it was almost like, Danny, once you got the midfield, you just was like, hey, man, we just gonna be content with getting in field goal range, and that's it. You stopped being aggressive when the score was tied. Like, I could see if you were down by a field goal and you weren't aggressive, the score was tied. So if nothing else, you being aggressive and trying to actually score a touchdown. Worst case scenario, you get in field goal range and you have to kick the field goal. Best case scenario is you actually score a touchdown, and that puts the pressure on Oklahoma to have to go down the field and score a touchdown. Well, if you watch that game, when Oklahoma had the opportunity, they went for the touchdown. They were not playing for a field goal. They were playing for the win. They wanted to get out of there, and they were playing for the win. They wasn't playing for a field goal to tie it up and go back and forth to 7-8 overtimes. No, now, again, if they didn't get it, then cool. They was going to kick the field goal and tie it up. But they continue to play for the win. And Sark, you saw what happened. You lost. So now what? You at the mercy of everything, man. You had everything in front of you. Now, there's still going to be a path for you to make the playoffs, because more than likely, the way the Big 12 looks, you'll face Oklahoma. You'll face Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship. And if they are there undefeated and you are there with your one loss, if you beat them, then you'll have a good, strong argument to say, hey, the one team that beat us throughout, you still had a win against Alabama. You still have all your other wins. And you can say, hey, the one team that beat us, we played them again, we won, and that's it. And you'll still be able to march on to the playoffs. So you still got things ahead of you. You do. LSU, each week we're going to talk about y'all for this split second. I don't know, bro. I just don't know, man. It's like almost like that. I know y'all might argue back and say, man, we won a game with a pick six. Well, you really didn't win the game, but you sealed the deal of the game with a pick six. I get it, man, but that was Missouri, bro. And I ain't saying that ain't a good Missouri team. I'm not saying that. No, nobody from Missouri get on me. My cousin Reggie Smith, he played for you guys back in the day. He played for the basketball team for Missouri back in the day. So I have nothing but love for that program. I had a family member that played for the school. There was point guard, Reggie Smith. Look him up. And he played for Missouri. But I have nothing against Missouri. But again, LSU, that was Missouri, man. It was a dogfight because you couldn't stop them from scoring. I mean, what are your goals for the rest of the season? Think you're going to walk in Tuscaloosa with that defense? They ain't walk Tuscaloosa with that defense? As bad as that defense is, hell, Mertz might be able to get off on that defense from Florida. You still got them on the menu too. So just saying, we'll get to that. Let's look at where we are in the top 10. Look at where we are in the top 10. Share the screen. All right. So in the top 10, we're gonna keep it short and sweet. We ain't gonna really go past the top 10. We're gonna stay right there. In the top 10, you still got Georgia number 1, still Michigan number 2, Ohio State number 3, Florida State with the loss to Texas moves up to 4. The polls are different. In the AP, you got Oklahoma 5. In the coaches poll, you got Penn State. Then flip flop AP, you got Penn State 6, Washington 6. And then you still got in the AP, you got Washington 7, Oklahoma 7, Oregon is 8 in both polls, 9 is Texas, 9 USC in the coaches, 10 is USC, 10 is Alabama. So, that's your top 10 right there. That's your top 10. As we turn the page to the next week, the Pac-12 has a few teams sitting up at the top, and we got a major another major matchup coming up this week. This is where the Pac-12, remember our prediction at the beginning of the year, we said the odds of the Pac-12 getting a team in the playoffs is slim to none because they're going to do what? Say it with me. Beat themselves up. And this is going to be the start of it right here. You got Oregon, you got Washington, both undefeated, both facing each other this week in the matchup this week. Massive matchup. I'm taking Oregon. I'm going to go ahead and jump out there early. I'm taking Oregon, man. I feel like out of all the teams in the Pac-12 right now, if there was one, although I don't think it'll be because Oregon has a history of when everything is going right for them. Now, old Mario Cristobal was the engineer of one of those debacles. Just FYI. Oh, yeah. And for those who don't know, he also did something similar to this in Oregon. Just go look it up. He did. It's everywhere now. He did something similar to what he did. It wasn't exactly what he did this past weekend, but it was similar. But he was the engineer of an Oregon team who was able to go up to Ohio State, win big, and they, Anyway, Oregon has a history of not beating people they're supposed to beat. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Losing to people that they are supposed to beat. So again, although I got Oregon in this game, I still don't feel 100% that Oregon is still going to continue to maintain throughout the rest of the year. But that is going to be a huge matchup in the Pac-12. It's actually at 2:30. It's not late. It is not late. It is an early. It's a midday game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm taking Oregon in that. One of the bigger matchups of the week. We can skip around and we're going to come off of this one and then we'll go. See, we're going to stop screen, share again, and we're going to look at the matchups for the week. Then we're going to get up out of here. All right. So this week, the big matchups that we got this week, you got the ones that matter. You got Oregon and Washington. Okay. You got USC and Notre Dame. And you got Miami and North Carolina. And for those of us in this side of the world, in this side of the country, you got LSU and Auburn. I know that's one of them under the radar games. A lot of people, but hey, Auburn is scrappy. Let's be clear. I mean, they came down to the last session against Georgia. So but that was in Jordan Hare. That wasn't on the road. Road Auburn, home Auburn. Sometimes can be two different animals. But you got a nice little slate. You got a nice little slate of games, going on this week. If you care about, you got Texas A&M, Tennessee, Florida, South Carolina. If you care about that, you know what I'm saying. And of course, FSU plays Syracuse. So, you got a few we got a few matchups here, man, this week that's gonna be worth checking out, man. So we rolling, man. It's as awesome as everything is. It also is sad because we pretty much at the halfway mark. You know what I'm saying? We pretty much at the halfway mark, man. And you know, but things are gonna sort itself out. The ACC will sort itself out. The Pac-12 is gonna sort itself out, man. But I could not walk away from this program and not talk about it. You know, every sports weekend is not one of those weekends where I smile completely. Where I'm just like, hey, you know what? None of my parlays didn't hit this past weekend. It's cool. Because you know what did happen this weekend? FSU won. Miami lost in hilarious fashion. And guess what else happened? Hey, Michael Parsons. Hey, Dak. You came to Santa Clara, huh? Yeah, you did. Y'all was doing a lot of talking. Again, I don't know why. We keep whipping y'all ass. And they keep their ass whoopers keep getting worse and worse and worse. You know, we heard, had Tony Pollard not got hurt, y'all would have beat us last in the playoffs. Man, we whooped y'all ass, bro. Dallas, let me tell you something. Just stop. Don't come for us no more. Just when you see San Francisco go the other way, just go to cross the street. Because that ass whooping that we delivered to y'all this weekend. Oh man. Oh, I'm sorry. In front of the whole world. The whole world. That wasn't a 2:00 kick, 3:00 kick game on Fox. Nah. That was on NBC, end of the night. Sunday night. Everybody saw it. I mean, I was going to watch it anyway, but everybody saw it. Ass. So, as we started the show, we said, take a knee. Dallas, I know y'all wanted to say no mas. Because how about them Cowboys? That's the only way y'all win, right? Woo! Shout out to man. Bang, bang, Nana gang, man. I ain't gonna do too much talking about that because right now we undefeated. We got bigger goals ahead of us than beating up on the little piss po ass Dallas Cowboys, man. Philly, we got y'all coming up. Regular season and postseason. We coming for that ass, man. But we're gonna be back. Say what's today? Tonight is Wednesday. We'll probably be back Friday. If we're not back Friday, we'll definitely be back Saturday night because I got Rome this weekend. So I got Rome this weekend. I won't be out and about. I will be in town. So if nothing else, man, I'll be back on the mic Friday, Saturday night, and we'll discuss what we saw on Saturday. Matter of fact, go ahead, man. I think this might be the first time we go live on the show, man. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and make that a promise. We're gonna go live on the show Saturday night, man. I'm gonna get everything up. I'm gonna make a probably create a flyer or something. And yeah, when we're gonna go live late Saturday night after all the games, we're gonna do yeah, we're gonna go live Saturday night, man. So we're gonna get it out there, man, because I got a few people who've been wanting to come on the show, but you know, we just been recording. But you know what? I think it's time, man. I think Saturday night gonna be a real good time, man. We're gonna go live, man. So, but before I go, man, always remember, man, to live, laugh, and love, man. Always live your life to the fullest. Find you something to laugh at each and every day, and love on the people who love you back, man. This is I am DJ Double Dose, and we out.